So, welcome back to the Sober Anglican, and I'm going to take a look at 5 more surprising things in sobriety. Well, at least they were surprising to me. Here goes with the first one. I was quite surprised in sobriety to find that I suddenly developed a taste for ice cream. Do you know, it turns out that in all the drinking decades, I'd barely had an ice cream. So I've actually quite enjoyed going through all the different flavours and trying lots of different brands and stocking the freezer up with ice cream instead of stocking the fridge up with the old wine bottles. And it's great. There are so many choices. And you know, the great thing with ice cream is it doesn't all taste the same after the first couple of mouthfuls. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. That's the first thing for of the 5. The second one, which was really surprising, and I'm delighted by it actually, is that I actually noticed a bit of improvement in my own motor skills. Now, here's the thing. As you probably know, if you're a problem drinker and you drink heavily, it can seriously mess up your brain. And if you want to get a bit scared, start doing a bit of research into alcohol-related brain damage. I'm not talking about a level of brain damage that's, you know, quite that bad, but I am saying that I noticed an improvement in kind of like on the margins of my motor skills. And what I particularly noticed was my ability to catch a ball with my non-dominant hand, in my case is my right hand, has improved massively. I can throw that ball at the wall, pluck it out of the air with my right hand in a way that I could never do in the drinking decades. And I think that's interesting, and it's, you know, pretty good, isn't it? The third thing is that when I now watch a film, I can actually remember the end of it. And in the last 5 years, I've looked at quite a lot of films on the telly, and as I'm sure you can imagine, lots of them are ones that I've seen before. But I think to myself, have I seen this one before? Can I quite remember the ending? And it turns out that I've watched them, if I've watched them in the drinking years, if I'm watching them sitting down at home with a, you know, getting into the second bottle of wine sort of thing, I'm not going to remember what went on. And I'm not always going to be able to easily place whether I've seen something before. So I simply don't have that problem anymore for remembering the end of films. And then a fourth thing in sobriety, which has been really surprising and a great benefit, is that, of course, if you're not drinking, you're ready to jump in your car at any time. And I could literally give you a whole long list of how in the last 5 years, where the ability to get in the car early in the morning, late at night, maybe drive through the night sometimes, perhaps if we're going on holiday, getting up early to go on holiday, that sort of thing, being available for emergencies, being available to just go and do things at times when before it would have been off the table because I would have been, well, drinking. That's been pretty good too. And then finally, and it's a bit of an interesting one, this, because when people sort of get to know that you stopped drinking, I think that some people think, well, sometimes they say to me, how on earth did you manage that? I mean, I've had 2 or 3 doctors say to me when I've been in for appointments for, you know, for other reasons, and it's sort of come up in the conversation, oh, by the way, I've stopped drinking. They've gone, how do you do that? How did you manage that? And I think that when you stop drinking, quite a lot of people, especially drinkers who are worried about their own drinking perhaps, or in the early stages of worrying about it, maybe coming out of denial and beginning to realise that they've got a problem themselves, they look at you, they think, how on earth did you manage it? And they think you've got some kind of superpower, whereas in fact it sounds a bit boring to say, oh no mate, it's not a superpower, it's just in fact enlightened and educated, informed mindset change. Doesn't sound quite the same thing as I've got a superpower, does it? But that's actually what it is. So anyway, so those are the 5 things, 5 extra things that are quite surprising in sobriety. The ice cream, the motor skills, catching the ball with my non-dominant hand, remembering the end of films, which has been a particularly lovely thing, being ready to just jump in the car anytime you like is a great thing. Sometimes it's quite nice when I think to myself, do you know, I know that some people think, how on earth did he do that? Anyway, God bless. See you again in another video. Take care.